Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next inspiring episode of BA Leadership Talks. My name is Yulia Psholotskaya. I'm Vice President of Marketing at IIBA Belarus chapter. And today I have an opportunity to talk to Mohamed Zahran, a seasoned business analyst, currently serving as the head of business excellence and controls at eFinance. Who has an impressive background as the ex-Deputy Regional Director for Middle East region, as well as being the esteemed founding president of the IIBA Egypt chapter. Hi, Mohammed. We are absolutely delighted to have you as our guest for this BA Leadership Talk today.
I'm very happy to be with you today, and especially with all the activity you are done in your side and your chapter. It's very, very good to see an active chapter. Another side is good, working hard to inspire and support their community.
Thank you for the kind words. So to begin our conversation, Mohammed, you have a great career as a business analyst. How did you start it?
This is, as you know, at the beginning, when I graduated from college, it was the normal issue we have in software development. Who owns a business? I came from a technical background, so I understand when I'm talking to technical guy, how they want the clarification or information to be clear, easy, how they focus on implementing any solution. But on the other side, it was a challenge with the business side. They don't know how to write or define their needs. And I started to search who should do this role. And I found a business analysis. This was 2006, 2007. It was at the very beginning of the IIBA. It was, at that time, I remember it was Fabric version 1.6. It was a very big guide. You need to study. And at that time, at the Middle East, no one knows the title of business analyst. It was something new to talk that I will be playing as a business analyst, what he's doing. Some people would know the system analyst, but the business analyst is a new term at that time. And finding someone to advise you or guide you how to start this journey, it was very hard. I started my own. I started by reading the book, and it was not that easy challenge. You know, someone who have been working with the old version of the book, he will tell you how much we are suffering from reading the book. But thank God we have version 3 now. It's an easy one. I started by looking around me. What is the issue in every software we develop? Our developer is doing a great work, but when we deliver the solution to the customers, it's not what the customer expected. It's not what the customer needs. That's why I started to dig more in the business analysis and understand why this role is very important and the impact of this role on the industry itself. I started by studying the Babuk version 1.6, then I moved to version 2, then I keep updating myself with version 3. And of course, the great extension of the IIBA.
Great. Yeah, actually, you have a really long path, and I'm pretty sure that you will share with us lots of insights today. And at the same time, how did you realize that you were prepared to establish the IIBA Egypt chapter? And what was your motivation? Did you have a group of people who had the same thoughts as you? How it was?
At the beginning, as a business analyst, I was leading a big project in Egypt at that time. And every time I had a new challenge, I need to find someone to ask or get an advice, some kind of mentorship. And this was not available in Egypt or in the Middle East at that time. I started looking at the IIBA website to find what other chapters do. And I started joining their webinars, join their activity. Some events I attended in physical, I had to travel. And when I back to Egypt, I started looking why we don't have such a chapter in Egypt. If I'm gonna establish a chapter, what the chapter will offer for the community in Egypt. I started to look around and I found that we have a big community of business analysts in Egypt, but it's scattered, not in one location. And one of the challenges was some people was just reading the first 2 chapters of the book and said, okay, I will give a course about business analysis, but actually he didn't read the book or even work as a business analyst. And we start to have some wrong practice in the Egyptian society about business analysts. So when my work was required that I deal with all the government agencies in Egypt and all the software development agency and software service provider in Egypt. And I start to figure out that between 10 companies, we will find one or two who really understand the value of business analysis and do it through the right way. But the majority is not. So at that time, I was in a trip and attending one of the German chapter conferences, and I decided, okay, this is the time that I need to establish a chapter in Egypt. At first, I was hesitating about establishing this journey because it's not an easy to establish a chapter. You need to find a group of people who understand what you're doing, who trust in your vision and working with you, and not only the board, but you need to find. You need to have a good communication with all the business analysts, practitioners in Egypt, and convince them that we need to have a chapter. At that time, I remember I fill out the application to establish chapter, and I keep it 2 weeks on my laptop, didn't send it. Then at one night, I take the decision, I will send it now. Whatever it comes, I will do it. And I did it. It worked.
Great job. Yeah.
One of the other side of the story for the chapter was to at that time when I was starting the chapter, we have at Egypt a national digital transformation project, and I was in part of the national initiative of that project. And every time we have a new project on the table, we need to discuss. I figure out we don't have a business analyst. We need someone to define the requirement. And this side was required that we need to have at least 200 to 300 qualified business analysts to handle this project. And this was the other side, that this is now a good time to establish a chapter to help the practitioner do the job the right way.
That's great. And how did you move to the Deputy Regional Director for the Middle East region?
It wasn't actually, when I established the chapter, I make a commitment to myself, and I communicated to all my board that my term in the chapter of Egypt will be 3 years. I will not stay longer than 3 years. I have a plan. Whether I achieve it or not, I have to move and give an opportunity to someone to lead the chapter in his way. I don't think I can imagine myself for 10 years or 20 years a president for a chapter. Chapter need to be moved from someone vision to an institution vision. And this was a deal from the beginning. And I wasn't have any plan to join the regional team unless one day, when I established the chapter, I was working with Victoria Cobbett, if you know the name. She was the former, the ex-Europe. Actually, she was leading Europe, Africa, and Middle East as a regional director. And I remember she texted me and said, we need you to lead the Middle East. And I said, I don't believe it's the right time. And she asked for one-to-one call, and she convinced me. And I have to say that I couldn't make this step and moving from Egypt chapter to the region without the support of Victoria. She's a great mentor and a great business analyst. I own it a lot. When I established, when I took this step, I had to say with Victoria, I said, I need to move from the chapter, and I cannot do it unless the chapter is working fine and has a stable board and all the activity is up and running as planned. And she helped me a lot to do it.
That's great. Actually, she helped the Belarus chapter to be established as well. So, yeah, seems really great director. And how did you manage your priorities between work, personal life, and volunteering?
It was not easy, I have to say. Sometimes I have to take calls between meetings, and I have to take calls between airports. My work required a lot of traveling, and some before the COVID-19. So I have to schedule some calls between the meeting at the lounge at the airport, and some calls when moving from airplane to airplane. It's not easy, but I did it because I like it. I like what I'm doing, helping people to do the job better. And I remember I was talking to Adrian Reed. He's one of the famous business analysts in UK, and he's one a key player in the business analysis ecosystem globally. And he asked me, "What is the first thing you come in your mind when you look at the mirror before you go to your office every day?" And I said, Every time I'm going to my office, I keep one idea in my head. My work that I'm doing is helping people make their life better. Because every system we do, every system, every requirement you write, every system you write a user story or just have a discussion with your developer to enhance the requirement and deliver to the right way. At the end, we are not developing software for software. We are developing something for people. So my work helping people help making people life better. So this is the main idea I keep it in my mind every day, and the same idea I keep it in my mind when I'm working as a volunteer with the IIBA or any chapter. Because what we have now at the IIBA, I mean about the Babok and all the extension, all this practice, some people volunteer their time and their effort to deliver this content to us so we can do our job better. Meanwhile, while we are talking, I believe there is a lot of people working with the IIBA to developing a new standard or enhancing an old standard we have, like the agile extension or the cybersecurity or the new ones, the product ownership analysis certificate and guide. All these contents come from people. So people volunteering their time, their efforts, their experience to get something in a very, very standard format. So I can use to learn from their experience and how I can do my work in the right way. So at the end, all our work is raised of the system that someone who used to make something for his life, like the national health insurance system, or just if you are just booking a museum ticket. This is some business analysts have done this requirement using the standard that someone wrote it 10 years ago, so he can make this service available.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely agree that this is a great feeling that you know that you make someone's life easier. As far as I know, you've been participating in setting up the data business analysis exam certification. So maybe you could share with us what is sitting behind it, how this piece of work organized.
A lot of work. a lot of work for developing the guide itself. It was not only me, it's a huge team of people, practitioners, experts who have been working to develop the business data analytic guide. At the beginning, it was two books, and then we merged them in one single book. And if you open the file at the end of the guide, you will find a list of names, a lot of people who, most of them are business analysts, and some of them are not an analyst as we usually know, but they come from data science and data analytics background. And all of them work together to develop this standard. And this is a very important standard because, in my opinion, this is the only standard that differentiates between the technical side of data analytics, like data engineering and tools and visualization, about the value. What's the value we develop after we do analysis? It's the result. This is what we do. This is how the business analysts can be very useful in this kind of project. And the good part of this standard that it came from a practitioner. It's not from the book, from someone who has an academic background. No. If you look at the name of the participant, you will find some academic professor who knows the data science the right way, and some practitioner, and some group of people from the visualization world who know how to use the dashboard, what the meaning of the color, when, and how we should use this chart or this way of offering the information to the decision making, and some from the strategic background. So how can we formulate our message as the result of our work? This is a one of its kind guide till now, and I believe that most of the analysts, even if they are not working directly in data analytic project, they need to read it because it has a lot of techniques and a lot of concepts that can enrich your work. And of course, the exam is a very good one. You should take it.
Yeah, someday. How do you define, is there any difference between being among the IBA leaders with doing a BA job?
I don't find any difference because while I was in the chapter, or even I was part of the region, I was keeping the book beside me and said, I need to establish a new project to translate, for example, the core standard at that time, or the business analysis standard in Arabic. I said, if I do it if I do just let's go translation, this is not a business analyst. I'm here to represent the IIBA, doing a survey, having a one-to-one meeting, getting the feedback from people. The key to have a successful chapter is to listen to your community, because at the end, the chapter here is to help our community, our local community. So I need to understand what's your needs, even if that need is not something I can do. For example, I remember during the COVID, we launched a webinar, and we was doing it in two languages. Half of the two webinars per month, one in Arabic, one in English. One focus on the business analysis itself for the new one and the mid-career business analyst, and the other part was in English, was talking about the other topics that the mature business analyst or senior need to know, like enterprise architect, data transformation. What about the AI in business analysis? The idea is to give your community what they need. We established, for example, because at that time we have a huge demand of people texting the chapter leader and texting the senior business analyst we have on the list in the chapter asking for advice. I decided to establish a phone call. I just get a phone number and put it on our website. This is a IIBA chapter phone number. If you have any issue, something you need to ask about, if you need support in the project you have, just give us a call at that time of the day, and we keep rotating the phone number, the phone itself, the device with the board member and some of our experts. So the idea here is to provide the new business analysts, senior business analysts. We need someone to talk, someone to take their advice about something they are doing in their job on a phone.
Great
maybe
idea.
Someone who can make it. Maybe it work in Egypt, maybe it not work to your side, maybe it's not working in Canada, but it worked well in Egypt. But I have to say it was. I can imagine how much phone call we have in a 1 month. Actually, we received almost more than 200 minutes per call in 1 month from the chapter community, and we're starting to receive phone calls from outside Egypt, in the countries in Middle East who don't have a chapter. And this was the trigger that, okay, this is a good time to working with this community to build their own chapter, like we did in Sudan and Saudi Arabia, and working with Dubai.
Great.
Keep listening to your community. Use a Babook. You won't find any difference between being a volunteer or a business analyst.
Nice. So that's great. And could you tell us a bit about how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in the business analysis field?
I dedicate 2 hours in my day at the morning, my coffee, my iPad, just reading some news. I keep watching some list of a great business analysts who publish in the LinkedIn or in the IIBA website blog. They have a great article and great topics. You should, if you have time. I manage my time to review them at the morning. Some will do it at the midday or at the night, but you need to keep updated with the new technology, new trends, even in new techniques. But sometimes people working in their day-to-day business analysis activity, and they come up with the new techniques and they publish that techniques. It's not all the techniques in the Babook. There is a lot of techniques outside the Babook. I learned to keep open, read about the new techniques, select what it work with me, what's not working, keeping them on my desk. Sometimes I will need it. Our rule is not to just write some requirement or a bunch of user stories or use cases. Our role is to be the truly advisor for our customer. And to be able to be your true advisor for your customer, you need to be updated with what's happening. Today, everyone is talking about AI.
That's
you
true.
Need to be updated with what can AI do it and what cannot do it. And when you sit with customers, because I keep in the last 2 months is everyone, let's have an AI algorithm in our project. I said, okay, this is good, but do we really need it? Because it comes with a cost and financial and time. But you need to understand the value before going with the trend. This is what the true analysts need to do. This is why we are not just a bunch of people who write requirements, we are the true advisor for our customers.
Great advice. And what is your memorable achievement in the BA career?
Actually, I have to. When I get the CPAP, because it was very hard exam for me.
Yeah.
Actually, I took the CPAP. I sat for the CPAP exam during a workshop with the World Bank. I would have a big project with the World Bank. I take one day off, get the exam, finish the exam, back to the workshop to keep working with them. This is something I cannot forget it. And the other achievement was during the COVID in Egypt, we do a big course for introducing business analysis to non-business analysts. The course was expected to have 100. We ran the course with 600 people, 600 live training, not recording. Everyone taking a 1 hour, 1.5 hour live instructor showing the content. Then we get all the 600 in breakout rooms, and I had to get to every 21, get a one facilitator who must be certified so he can manage the discussion with it. It was a big project, and I cannot forget about it because it was very big at that time, having a 600 people on a live course about managed by the chapter. We have exams for the 600, and we have to make sure that everyone fills the exam, gets the right grade so we can issue the certificate. And the most important is the discussion. We have a huge discussion over WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we need to monitor all this discussion. And this is something I really like. For 3 years after that course, I was interviewing I was hiring someone for my team. And one of the interviewee was one of the one who attained the course. And she said, I remember your course, it was the first step that made me join the business analysis team. This is something I cannot forget.
That's great achievement, actually. Do you remember what was maybe the biggest challenge in your career so far? I guess this project was quite challenging, right? But maybe something else.
Something else. But besides being updated with the new technology and trends, being a mentor, it's not an easy to give someone advice on his career. This is something I'm doing my best to avoid it, but most of the time I couldn't. And most of the people who come to ask to any mentor have some kind of expectations that when I go to tell me three, then I will be a good one. It's not working like that. And I have to adapt my information, my experience to everyone. This is not an easy challenge. And you have to be 100% of what you are saying for someone for getting advice in his career, because no business analyst can do his work alone. At some point, you will need someone to take advice. Even me, most of the time, if I need advice, I have two business analysts on my list. I give them a call at the night and text them. I need advice about this challenge. And the most challenge for me when I'm facing a new project with no one working on it, so I don't have any mentor to ask about. So I have to figure out how I do it my way. Believe me, trust me, it's not easy to be the first one who tries something new.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And what do you think about the future of the business analysis profession?
I see now we have a huge demand of a qualified business analyst in different domains, but people need to understand that you shouldn't be a specific domain business analyst. Like these days, I see in LinkedIn position, I'm hiring ads about we need an ERP business analyst. We need an insurance business analyst. This is not right. You need a qualified business analyst with a background in insurance or background in dealing with ERP. So it's not the title. The misuse of the title makes a new business analyst don't know where to go. The business analysis standard can be applied in a different domain. I applied in non-software industry. I applied in agriculture. It's a pure agriculture activity, no software, no documentation. We can apply it to oil and gas. We can apply it to a social solidarity if we need to do a social safety network for our community. But the idea is some people, some HR actually is saying that we need a specific domain business analyst, which is not right. We have a general business analyst, and the ecosystem, the industry itself, all the industry will need a business analyst with different flavor. We talk about data, we talk about cybersecurity, we talk about the product ownership, we talk about an agile. But at the end, the core itself is the core business analyst. This is what we have in the bubble. even if we talk about the enterprise architect, if you look at the TOGAF, which one of the famous enterprise architect framework, at the middle of the TOGAF diagram, you will find the business analysis requirement management. Business analysts will have a huge demand in the next few years, especially with the wave of the AI and wave of new technology. We just need to adapt our techniques, our experience to the new technology. We need to learn more about the technology. And this is the only way we will be surviving. But someone says that in the coming 2 years, we will not have a business analyst. I doubt it. Even the artificial intelligence needs someone to tell him what is the requirement he needs to develop.
At least.
Even if you're working with the ChatGPT, you need to tell him in a standard way of requirements that I need a function to do 1, 2, 3 and behave this way.
Yeah, agree. And closing our talk today, I would like to ask you, because you have an exemplary leadership journey as a business analyst, what would you advise to your younger colleagues who just started their BA path or somewhere at the beginning of it?
Look for the nearest chapter around you and join it. If you don't have a chapter around you, go to the IIBA website. You will have a lot of webinars, study groups, mentorship programs that will help you to start your career. Don't take it alone, because I have met a lot of business analysts who take it alone. These days, I'm not talking about 10 years before, but now you have the facility to join someone who will take your hand, show you the right way, guide you, give you the mentorship, the support you need. Please use it, because this will make your journey so fast on the right track. Because some people go the other way and they stuck in somewhere they cannot be past it. But with a chapter, with a community around you who give you support, to give you all the information you need, show you the right way, would make a difference in your career. Because when I started, this was not available, but now it's there. So please use it, because this is a short way to be a good business analyst and deliver the value you should deliver in your work.
Thank you. So thank you, Mohammed, for this captivating conversation today. We truly appreciate your time and willingness to share your experience with us and join us within this BA Leadership Talks series. And thank you once again for being a part of this.
Actually, I want to thank you for inviting me to join this great series, because something I really like it, enjoy it, and I feel it will make a difference with not only with your chapter, but all the chapters. This is a new way. When chapter do something, all the chapters looking and learn from it. This is the power of our business analysis or IIB community. So thank you again for hosting me today, and good luck in the other web sessions. And I will keep learning, because I really like what you're doing in social media and showing people your true value.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.